Hey friends, it's Rana and I'm here today to do an August reading wrap-up. I'm finally doing a wrap-up video. It's been a while. The last time I did one was in December of 2020 and I didn't do any in 2021. And the reason is because most of what I was reading was for my Dewey Match series, and it didn't really make sense to talk about the same books in two separate videos, so I stopped doing wrap-ups. And today I'm finally coming back to doing wrap-ups because I decided that I won't complete my Dewey Match series because I found myself reading books that I'm not interested in and not having fun while reading, and I read to have fun, and that wasn't achieving the purpose. So there is a high chance of me not completing that series, but I may still post one or two more videos in the Dewey Match series because I'm halfway through reading these books. Anyway, let's start the wrap-up. In August, I read 5 books, and the first one that I finished is الدليل المعتمد للترجمة القانونية by عادل عزام سقف الحيط. It's a non-fiction book about legal translation from Arabic to English. I'm a translator and I wanted to read something about my field of work. That's why I picked it up. I bet none of you really care about this book, but I gave it 4 out of 5 stars and I found it very useful. The next book, I actually read it in just one sitting, and it is Antigone by Sophocles. Antigone is the third of the Theban plays, and it follows Antigone, the daughter of Oedipus, and the conflict between her and her uncle Creon, the current king of Thebes. I really enjoyed this play and I preferred it over the second one, but the first one will always remain my favorite out of the 3. I highly recommend that you read the plays, then watch them on YouTube. It will be a great experience for you, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book is When My Name Was Keoko by Linda Sue Park. This book I read it for the Czech Readathon or Czech Read-Along, hosted by Dana Days and Sunny Reads. The Czech Readathon is a readathon all about reading Korean books. That's why it is called Czech, because Czech means book in Korean. I read and loved this book, but unfortunately I missed the live discussion of it. Hopefully the next read I will be able to participate in the live discussion. When My Name Was Keoko follows Sunhee and her older brother Taeyul and their lives during the Japanese occupation of Korea during the Second World War. The book title When My Name Was Keoko refers to Sunhee's Japanese name because during that period Koreans were forced to change their names into Japanese and only use the Japanese names. I love this book because historical fiction based on real-life events is one of my favorite genres, and I learned many things about what Koreans had to go through during the Japanese occupation of Korea and how they suffered. I've been interested in Korea for over 12 years now, and I didn't know much about what Koreans had to go through under the Japanese occupation other than it was really bad. So when I read this book, I learned many things and many real events that happened during that period. I highly recommend this book for historical fiction lovers and for people who are interested in Korea. Even if you are not interested in it historically, you should read it. You should at least know what happened to them. And I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. The next book is Vita Nostra by Marina Diachenko. I picked this book up for my next Dewey Match video that may or may not happen. The audiobook is around 17 hours and I listened to the first 8 hours of it, and I was very bored because nothing really happens during the first 8 hours, and I decided to give up on this book and DNF it. Even if I continued reading this book, it won't be higher than 3 stars for me, to be honest, and it was a letdown because I had high hopes for it and it didn't meet them. The next book is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. This book was a buddy read with my lovely friend Paige from the PM Reader. I had so much fun discussing it with her. But what this book is essentially about, it is a slow-paced science fiction post-apocalyptic fantasy that may be set on Earth in the far, far future. It is still not clear whether it is set on Earth or on a completely different planet. The book follows 3 different perspectives. The first one is the Maya, a little girl who has this special ability of controlling Earth called Origini or Orogini, I don't know. I didn't listen to the audiobook, I only read the book, and I don't know how to pronounce half of these names. So we have the Maya, a little girl who has Origini, and we also follow Cyanide, who is a young lady who is also an origin, and she has a mission to have a child with this very strong origin called Alabaster. And the third perspective is of Isan, a lady at the start of the book finds out that her husband has killed their little son and kidnapped their daughter. The chapters of Damaya and Cyanide are written in the third person narrative, while Isan chapters are written in the first person narrative. First person narrative means when the author used the pronoun you did this, you done that, you said this, instead of the main character she or he. It wasn't the quickest nor the funnest experience reading this book because you can't really breeze through it and read it quickly. You have to read it slowly to understand what is happening. Even though I did that, I found it really confusing at times, especially because of the magic system and the world building. But the book is worth all the time that you invest in it because it is really a great book. Especially towards the ending of the book, many things are revealed and they were so mind-blowing to the point that I started reading the second book immediately just to see where things are going. I know it is a hard read and you need some time to get into the story, but it is worth it. It is an amazing book and a very clever one. And I personally gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It would have been 5 out of 5 stars if I wasn't confused half of the time. So that's it for today's wrap-up. I know that it was very short because I only read 5 books and one of them was our DNF. And I know you have been patient with me lately because I haven't been posting regularly the last couple of months because I wasn't really in a good headspace to film and post videos, but I'm planning to come back strong and make more videos and read more great books and come up with all these ideas. So please subscribe to see all the videos that I'm planning to do, and I will see you next time. Bye!